not returning from work. I commend the bill to the House.
Give the call to the member for Kew.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. And I rise to make a number of comments on the Workplace Injury Rehabilitation and Compensation Amendment Bill 2025. And can I begin by saying that WorkCover is an incredibly important scheme for Victoria and for workers in Victoria. And it is so important that we strive for it to be a strong and viable scheme for all workers in Victoria. But, Acting Speaker, unfortunately, under the administration of the Labor government in this state, we have seen the scheme fall apart at the seams. And you don't have to take my word for it, Acting Speaker. The former minister, the member for Essendon, has called WorkCover fundamentally broken in this state. And can I, from the outset, Acting Speaker, commend the member for Eildon for her considerable work last year when this scheme was undergoing a number of major reforms, and the work that she did at the time to ensure that not only those reforms actually delivered for workers in Victoria and for injured people in Victoria who suffer workplace injuries, but indeed also ensured that Victorian businesses, Victorian industry, did not see further premium increases and secured a premium freeze for employers in this state at a time at which they simply could not afford to be hit with another hike from this government. Acting Speaker, if we look at the administration of the scheme of WorkCover over the past decade, we have seen the Labor government simply run it into the ground. Now, we have seen the state government have to inject billions of taxpayer money into the scheme to prop it up. In 2022-23, $300 million. In 2021, $450 million. And in 2020, $550 million. Adding up to $1.3 billion of a taxpayer bailout for WorkCover under the Allan Labor government. This follows the fact that the scheme has simply not been delivering for injured workers in this state. And how do we know that? Because of a series of reviews and reports into the scheme that showed that injured workers were not being looked after under this scheme, under the administration of this government. We saw the 2016 Ombudsman report. And then because the recommendations in that report were not picked up by the government, were not implemented and were not delivering for injured workers, the Ombudsman came back in 2019 to look again and look at what was happening at the administration of this scheme. And then, of course, we've seen the Rosen review as well. Acting Speaker, as I said, in the words of the former minister, WorkCover is fundamentally broken in this state. And the impact of that is that time and time again, the poor administration, the poor financial administration of this state, of the various schemes, agencies in this state, mean that Victorians pay the price. And because of this, we have seen premiums have to increase time and time again under the Labor government's administration. Now, over the past few years, we've seen an average increase of 42% of premium increase for businesses in this state, at a time where they are being hit with tax after tax by this government, COVID debt levies, mental health levies, payroll tax increases, land tax increases. Under this government, they are also being hit with an average 42% increase when it comes to WorkCover premium increases. But I'm yet to meet a business in this state that only saw a 42% increase. I have heard stories from small businesses, from family businesses, from businesses in regional Victoria that have suffered 70, 80, 90% increases when it comes to their WorkCover premiums. And these are businesses that have not even had to submit a claim for their workers for years, yet they are seeing these massive hikes when it comes to premiums. This is a system that is designed to ensure that Workers who are injured in the workplace when they are undertaking their employment have the security when it comes to ensuring that they are looked after as a result of those injuries. But if we do not manage the scheme well, we do not manage the financial capacity of the scheme, then the consequences of that is that it is no longer sustainable. And we can see that. We can see that when we look at the detail of how this agency is being managed. This is an agency that is now $870 million reporting of negative equity. $870 million in negative equity. How is that sustainable over the long term? The consequence of that will be simply to put up premiums time and time again. And we only have to look as far as another government insurer, the VMIA. Now, this is in a very similar position to WorkCover. This is where we have once again seen the poor financial administration of this scheme. We've seen the fact that the IFR, the insurance funding ratio, threatened to fall below 100, as it has with WorkCover. We saw that there had to be put in place a potential capital management plan for the VMIA. Once again, like WorkCover, it's in negative equity, $477 million last financial year, and it is $98 million in the red. And what does it have in similar with WorkCover as well? The fact that under this government—
The level of background noise is a little bit problematic. Thank you.
Under this government— Thank you, Acting Speaker. Under this government, we are seeing the insurance premiums rise right across the board. DBI insurance increases 43% in 2023 and 65% in 2024. So what we are seeing from the Allan Labor government right across this state is the fact that it cannot manage money. 10 years of financial mismanagement when it comes to the budget, when it comes to these agencies, it comes to the insurers, means that Victorians are paying the price, whether that is through poorer services or higher premiums or not being able to access the insurance coverage they need when they are injured at work. And if we look at the bill here today and what we are looking at in terms of the various amendments being made, we are looking once again at a myriad of reforms that do not go to the core sustainability of WorkCover in this state. We are looking at the fact that we are going to see once again premiums risking to increase. We will see once again businesses put under pressure in this state. The quantity of claims continues to rise. The return to work provisions are not meeting what we would expect in terms of getting people back into the workplace, supporting them to get back into the workplace. And what we know is that WorkCover scheme, the decline in its financial performance, will only result in the fact that we are going to see more businesses put under pressure in this state. And ultimately, what does that mean, Acting Speaker? That these businesses cannot employ Victorians. They cannot grow their businesses. They cannot look for other opportunities. I remember visiting a small business in regional Victoria in Ballarat, and they were looking at opportunities to start exporting their product overseas. And they showed me their premium increase when it comes to WorkCover. And that premium increase, combined with the increase to payroll tax, the fact that they've seen their land tax bill go up as well, meant that they could not take on the extra employees to do the extra shift required to actually ensure that they could export those products overseas. That is a missed opportunity for this state. That is a missed opportunity to employ more people in this state. And that is the direct result of the financial mismanagement under this government. Can I commend the member for Evelyn for the reasoned amendment that she has put forward today and the importance that the Liberals and Nationals are calling for to freeze the premium rate for WorkCover on employers, to ensure that we do not put businesses and industry in this state under any more pressure at a time that they can least afford it. This government continues to tax business out of business. They simply cannot make it stack up anymore in this state. And you ask any business that has a national operation and they will say that Victoria is the hardest place to operate, is the hardest place to do business. Why? Because this government has managed the economy into the ground. It has, time and time again, put up taxes on business. It has increased payroll tax, land tax, and of course an average increase of 42% when it comes to work cover premiums. The poor state of finances in this